Hello, I'm here live in my kitchen, and I'm gonna rank every game I played in 2022. So, yeah, let's just jump right into it. I've never done a ranking thing like this before, and I've never done a video like this before where you can see my face and stuff. So, please be nice. All right, so the games here, I think there's like 30 something. There's over 30, almost 40. They are in no particular order. I'm just gonna get started. So the first one here is Bayonetta. So I played Bayonetta on the Switch this year. Well, the thing is, I started playing it. I got maybe 5 or 6 chapters into the game. I really liked it. I wanted to keep playing it, but I didn't because I started it right before we moved out of Japan. And then, we were really busy and stuff, and I never got back to it. So I'm just gonna put it at I'll put it at B because I really enjoyed it, and honestly, it would probably be higher, but I just didn't get to finish it. So yeah. All right, and next, I played Days Gone on PS4. That's that open world zombie game. I thought it was just okay. I got it for free through PlayStation Plus. Actually, well, I got a PS5 this year, and it's one of those free PS4 games that comes with the PS5. You get a little library of PS4 games, and that was one of those games I got, so it was free. So I didn't buy it or anything. I had fun with it, but honestly, I got bored. I think I only played it for about 8 hours or something. So again, I didn't play it all the way through, but I enjoyed the little bit that I did play. But I don't know. I think I'll put it at C. It's a very mid game. It's mid. And next is a big one. That is Elden Ring. Elden Ring was the first game I got for my PS5. I managed to get one back when they were still kind of hard to get, halfway through this year. Now they're pretty easy to get, or halfway through last year, I should say. But yeah, I got Elden Ring, and I've been playing through it. I played most of it by myself, but the second half of the game, I've been playing with my friend Bryce, and that's been a lot of fun. He's beaten it, actually. This game is incredible, as everyone probably knows already. I love it. I'm at the final boss right now. My friend and I are trying to beat it together. He's already beaten the game. He's really good at it. I suck. But it's been really fun playing through that game with him. This one is gonna have to be S rank. Next is Pokemon Emerald. I don't know if you can see it. Pokemon Emerald Rogue, which is a Pokemon Emerald hack that came out this year. And this one is really interesting because they took Pokemon Emerald and they made it into a randomly generated roguelike where you just see how far you can get, and when your Pokemon die, you can't use them anymore. And it's so crazy. I can't believe that it's possible to make ROM hacks like this that just are so different from the base game. And this is one of those, and it's so good. A lot of people are talking about it right now, and it just received an update that added a lot of new features. So I want to get back into this one, but I'm gonna have to say Pokemon Emerald Rogue is definitely an A rank. All right, next is Final Fantasy III. I played this game. I played the Pixel remaster version of this game. The DS version was actually my first Final Fantasy game ever, so I have a bit of nostalgia for it. But I played Final Fantasy III on my phone, the Pixel remaster, and it was really good. Just a solid, no frills, classic JRPG. It doesn't waste your time. It's pretty short, honestly. I finished it in 20 hours. And it's perfect for me because it doesn't have a lot of dialogue. I tend to lose interest in a lot of modern JRPGs that just hit you super hard with just too much dialogue. So I'm gonna put Final Fantasy III at A. And I know not a lot of people like Final Fantasy III. It can be a bit challenging, but I had a really good time with it. It was a great game to play on my phone when we were in the airport and on the airplane and stuff. I had a really good time with it. And then immediately after I finished Final Fantasy III, I started the Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster. And honestly, I enjoyed that one even more than 3, and it was really good, and I didn't feel like it was wasting my time. I'm going to put it here, but I'd say I probably enjoyed Final Fantasy V a bit more than 3. There's just a little bit more there. The job system, they both have the job system, but you know, this one fleshed it out a little bit. Both really good. All 3 of these games are really good. Next is Fire Emblem the Shadow Dragon on the DS. This was another one where this was my first Fire Emblem game, and I wanted to replay it. So you know, I have a DS flash card because otherwise the old Fire Emblem games are so expensive. I just put it on my DS flash card, and I was playing it on the DS Lite. I just made a video about, and I do really like this game, but I mean, this is a me problem. I'm just not good at Fire Emblem. I'm just not good at. I'm not good at it. And I was having a great time. I got to a chapter where I just got stuck. I kept losing characters, and I don't like to move on with Fire Emblem games when I'm losing characters. I like to keep everyone alive because, you know, old Fire Emblem games have the permadeath where if a character dies, you know, they're gone for good. I don't like letting that happen. So I kept resetting and trying this chapter over and over again, and I just got tired of it. And I'm kind of sad. I kind of feel like this game really just defeated me, but I still like it. I still respect it, but I'm going to have to put it in C. And that's not the game's fault. That's just me, okay? That's just me. That's on me. I respect the game, but it was just too hard. Next is Gift Pia. So there's a few GameCube games on here, and specifically a couple that I only played for like an hour or two, and Gift Pia is one of them because I want there to be a fan translation of these games, and I talked about them in a video about Japanese GameCube games that I made a while ago, and Gift Pia was one of those games. It is a game by Skip, those are the people who made Chibi Robo, and I just wanted to bring more attention to this game. The video ended up not getting that many views anyway, so like you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I didn't really get to play it much because of the language barrier thing, and but I want to love this game, and I know that I will once I can play it in English, which I hope happens someday. I think it will, because people are fan translating everything these days. But I'm gonna put it in C again because it's not good, it's not bad. I just can't really play it, and it makes me sad. So, and next, oh man, Grand Theft Auto 4. So I downloaded this on Steam last year because I was just really in the mood to play some kind of open world game like GTA. And when I was in Japan, I only had my Switch and then, you know, whatever retro game consoles I found while I was there. So I didn't, you know, I have my laptop, and I was like, I want to play GTA. And I downloaded GTA 4, and I played this game before a long time ago, but it was just cool revisiting it and just messing around. I didn't really get that far into it. I was just kind of playing it for fun. But I had a really good time, as expected, but I'm just going to put it in B because it's just kind of, it was nothing really new. I just wanted to mess around in GTA for a bit, and it holds up as expected. And next is a little game called Homeland, and this is the other Japanese GameCube game I was talking about when I said I want to play it with a fan translation. This is an RPG that is all in Japanese still. It was only ever released in Japan, and it actually was like an online RPG for the GameCube, which is very unique, and it has a really cute art style, and it just looks really cool and unique, and I wanted to get into it, and I was playing a bit of it. I actually played a lot more of this one, and was just kind of trying to get as far as I could, but I kind of hit a wall, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do. But I'm going to also stick this one in C. I hope it gets a fan translation one day. If you want to see more about what I thought about it, check out my Japanese GameCube game video, and you can see that. But anyway, so next, yeah, I went through a little Kirby kick, as you can see here. The first 3D Kirby game, and man, oh, this game was so good. So good. Definite S tier. Definitely S tier. Below Elden Ring, Elden Ring is still number one, but Kirby and the Forgotten Land was amazing. When this game came out, I was on spring break because I was working in Japanese schools, so we got awesome breaks whenever the schools would be on break. And I couldn't put that game down. I played through all of it in like a week, and it was all I thought about and all I did for that week. And that game is amazing, and I hope they make another 3D Kirby game in the near future. But before Kirby and the Forgotten Land came out, I was like trying to get in the Kirby mood. So I played through Kirby's Dream Land 3, and I loved it. I love the art style in this game. It's got a really unique art style for the Super Nintendo, and it's just a very cute, cozy, fun game that won't make you angry like Fire Emblem and like Elden Ring. So let's put it in A, below the Final Fantasies. I'd say right there. Okay, next we have Mr. Driller for the Game Boy Color. This was a game I talked about in my Game Boy for a month in Japan video. I played this game then, and I loved it. I think it was definitely a new favorite. It's just a simple little puzzle game, but it was addicting, and it was worth the $5 that I spent on it. No, that's tough, actually. Does it belong in B? No, maybe C. Maybe C. And I'm going to put it above the two Japanese GameCube games, at least. You know, I'm going to put it above Fire Emblem as well. You know what? I'm going to put it above Days Gone, too. Yeah, that's where it belongs. It's better than Days Gone, for sure. You should play Mr. Driller before you play Days Gone, for sure. The next game is called Mutsu to Nonohon, which is a very strange Japanese exclusive GameCube game. This one was like a virtual pet simulator game, kind of like Tamagotchi, and it was interesting. It had a really unique art style and setting and stuff, and I actually, I just picked it up. I saw it in a shop in Japan one day. I was like, I've never heard of this game. It looks cute. And it was cute. It's only in Japanese, but the Japanese was simple enough that I could kind of get by and just mess around. And there's honestly not much to do. You just kind of watch your little pet swim around in a fishbowl and feed it snacks and stuff. And it was really simple, but I had a good time. It was very relaxing. And if you want to see more about that game, definitely check out the Japanese GameCube games video. Yeah, I'm plugging my old videos, so they exist if you want to watch them. So I'm going to put that, man, does it belong above Days Gone? I definitely didn't, I probably put like an hour into Mutsu, so I'm going to put it above Days Gone. Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. That's fair. No More Heroes. At the beginning of 2022, I finally played No More Heroes. I played the Switch version because all those games are on Switch now. It was on sale, and I've been meaning to play that game for a long time, and I finally did. I played it all the way through. I beat it, and I loved it, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy because I was like, that game was on my backlog for so long, and the people who have played No More Heroes love it. You know, everyone who talks about No More Heroes, it's either, oh, I haven't played it, or I've played it and I love it, and I am now one of those people. I've played No More Heroes. I love it. I own the rest of the series now, and I'm going to get to them. But No More Heroes 1 was amazing, and I can't wait to play the sequels. I'm going to put this in S. That's definitely an S rank game. I loved it. Oh my god. I loved it so much. Not as much as Kirby and Elden Ring, but No More Heroes is definitely S rank. Okay, next is Octopath Traveler. I actually just started this. I just started this one, man, maybe a couple weeks ago. Right before Christmas, I started playing this one. I tried to play this game back in 2018 when it came out, and I just could not get into it. And I think that was because when it came out, I just wasn't in the mood for an RPG. I just wasn't in the mood for it, but I was like, I pre-ordered it. I was excited for it. I started it. I got like 3 hours in, and I was just like, no, I just wasn't in the mood for it. But recently, after playing the classic Final Fantasy games that I talked about earlier, I was like, you know what, I'll try Octopath again. And I've been really enjoying it. I'm like 12 hours in right now, and I love the gameplay. The only thing I'm not a big fan of is just all the dialogue. It is just, I skip through so much of it because it's just too much. It just gets so boring. And I don't know if it's going to get better or worse, but you're just going through like a half an hour of just text each time you meet a new character that you're going to recruit. And it's just so boring. The game hasn't done anything to make me interested in hearing about these characters' backstories, so I just don't care. And that sucks. I know a lot of people really like the story in this game, but I've heard some other people complain about it as well. So for gameplay, honestly, I'd say it's an S rank for gameplay alone. But for how much dialogue the game throws at you, and it's just boring. It's just so boring. For that aspect, I'm gonna have to take it down and put it in S. I'm gonna put it, or not in S. I'm gonna bring it down to A. I'm gonna put it here. No, I'm gonna put it. It's in front of Kirby, but it's behind the early Final Fantasies and Pokemon Emerald Rogue, because like I said, it's just so much text, and it's just boring. It's just wordy for no reason. And I have that problem with a lot of modern JRPGs. They just throw so much text at you, and you don't need it. Just keep it simple. You can still have an interesting story without making people sit through hours of cutscenes. Like if an RPG doesn't have me getting into the gameplay and the battle system within the first like 20 minutes, I lose interest. So thankfully you can skip through the text pretty fast in Octopath, so that's why I'm sticking with it. But there's some games like Dragon Quest VII, where the intro to that game is like hours, and you don't even get into a single battle. You don't do any combat. You're just going from one place to another, reading all this text, and it's just not interesting. It's just so boring. So that's a thing for me with JRPGs. I love them, but I hate them at the same time. And the next game here is One Piece Grand Battle 3. This is a GameCube 3D arena fighting game from the early 2000s, when One Piece was new and fresh, and this game has a lot of personality and character, and I love One Piece. Specifically, I love those early days of One Piece just as much as I love the current arcs in One Piece, and it was so cool just going back to this early One Piece game that honestly it holds up well. It's fun. It's a really fun 3D arena fighter. I talked about this in my Japanese GameCube games video, and I loved this game. I wouldn't say it's amazing though. I'm gonna stick it at the top of. Okay. I'll put it. It's below Bayonetta. It's below Bayonetta because I didn't finish Bayonetta, so that's the only reason why it's in B. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with One Piece. I'm putting it above GTA 4, but I'm a big One Piece. I'm a big One Piece fan, so it's for me. It means a lot to me to play a fun One Piece game every once in a while. And on the topic of One Piece, we have One Piece World Seeker, and this is the One Piece game that came out. I actually can't remember. Was it 2020? It might have even been 2019. But it's like a 3D open world One Piece game. and it got really bad reviews. Like, it got really, really bad reviews. Like, I don't know anyone who's, like, talked positively about One Piece World Seeker, but I got it on a sale on PlayStation 5, and I like it. I mean, I'm like 6 hours in, but just running around that world, it's an original world. You're running around as Luffy. You can, fly around like Spider-Man pretty much with Luffy's powers, and it just feels really good. The gameplay itself can be a bit janky at times. Like, it's not like it's a very nice looking game, but the gameplay can be a bit shallow, I'll admit it. But I had fun with it. I had fun just running around as Luffy. I'm still playing it occasionally. I want to see where it goes. And I like that it's an original story as well. It's not like the new One Piece game that's coming out that I'm actually really excited for is like, going through all the chapters of the story of One Piece. And this was just an original story. And I really like that. I that's kind of like what I like to see when it comes to games based off of anime that I like. I think it's cool when they can do an original story like that and not just rehash the story of the manga and the anime and all that. So I'm going to put One Piece World Seeker in the B tier, below Bayonetta, but above the other One Piece game. Just because, there's a bit more to do in World Seeker than in One Piece Grand Battle 3. And next, we have Parodius Da specifically, which is just another Parodius game. But I played this one during my month of Game Boy last year in Japan, and I had a really good time with it. It's fun. It's cute. It's a very difficult shooter on the Game Boy. So I'm going to put it, C tier sounds bad, but it's not. C tier, I still consider these games good. So I'm going to put it right below Mr. Driller and above all these other games. I find it so funny that I'm putting these Game Boy games above Days Gone. But, Days Gone's not bad. It just didn't hold my attention. That's all. And that's, like I said, with a lot of these games, it's not whether I think it's good or bad. It's a lot of times it's just, did it hold my attention? And it's hard to hold my attention. Ask my mom. She'll tell you. Next game is The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass for the DS. This was one of the first Zelda games I ever played, way, way back. The first Zelda game I played was Wind Waker, and I loved it. And at that time, the 2 DS sequels were already out, so I went out and bought them and was so excited. And back then, Phantom Hourglass did disappoint me a bit. But going back to it now, I actually had a pretty good time. I didn't beat it, but I came really close. I'm like pretty much at the end of the game. Maybe I had like a few hours left. But I had a much better time playing it this time around because I played the there's a patch of this game that you can get nowadays where you can actually control Link with the buttons, because the original game was only touch controls. You had to do everything using the touch screen and your little stylus, and you had to do everything in the game that way. But this patch, and there's a patch like this for Spirit Tracks as well, lets you control Link and swing the sword with you can swing the sword with the A and B buttons, like in all the normal Zelda games, and you can control Link with the D-pad. And it feels good, and then you can use the stylus whenever you want for things that work better with the stylus. So I recommend, if you want to try these games, seek out those patches. They're called like the Phantom Hourglass button patch. You'll find them. Just Google it. And I had a really good time with this. I'm gonna put it in the B tier. It sounds crazy. A lot of people don't like Phantom Hourglass, but it's a really unique game, and just the low poly art style. I'm gonna put this above the One Piece games, because Phantom Hourglass and Wind Waker are like what I want from a One Piece game. I want a One Piece game where you can, hop in your ship and sail around the world and go to different islands freely, and really explore that world. And I think that's part of the reason why I like Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass so much. It's like One Piece. You know, you're a pirate, you're going around the world on a boat. I want to see that in a One Piece game. So, Phantom Hourglass is good. It's good. More people need to revisit it and revisit it with the patch. But it's really cool. It's got such a cool world, and the dialogue's good. I love the art style so much. It's held up so well on the DS. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm going to move on from all my pirate talk now and move on to Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, me and Pokemon, we're not on good terms these days. I really loved Legends Arceus when it first came out. I was addicted to it. I played it every day for like a month straight. And I really loved it. But looking back on it now, it was an experiment, and I think it was a successful experiment because of how different it was to traditional Pokemon games. It was kind of open world, kind of not. And it worked. And I was so excited for them to build on it with Scarlet. You know what? I'm going to bring Pokemon Scarlet into this too. I'm going to move it over here. Let's have the Pokemon talk. These next 5 games in the lineup are all Pokemon. I just realized that. I played too much Pokemon this year. I think that's part of the problem. But Pokemon Legends Arceus was probably the best Pokemon game to come out in 2022. It was better than Scarlet because it was a new idea, and it ran well on the Switch, and it was cool, and I liked it a lot, and I beat it, and I had a really good time, and I'm going to put it, it's not S, because it's not that good, okay? I liked it, and I had fun playing it, but it's not a perfect game. So I'm gonna put it below Emerald Rogue. I think Emerald Rogue was my favorite Pokemon game to come out in 2022. So that brings us to, yeah, and I like it more than Octopath and Kirby, probably. Kirby's Dream Land 3, that is. So I'm happy with that there. But let's talk about Pokemon Scarlet. Pokemon Scarlet, this is Generation 9. I've played every Pokemon game since the beginning. Every single one. And I have fun with all of them. Even Sword and Shield. Even the 3DS games. I have fun with every Pokemon game that comes out. I really do. Even Scarlet. But Scarlet, I apologize if you can hear the traffic right outside my window right now, but Pokemon Scarlet isn't a bad Pokemon game. In a lot of ways, it's one of the best Pokemon games. But it's a bad game. And by that I mean it's not finished. It's not you can't look at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and tell me that these are finished games. You can't. They look bad. They play bad in certain ways. By play bad I mean they don't run well. They run like they're about to crash. It has crashed on me. So people who defend Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you're wrong. You're just wrong, okay? I like these games. I put 70 hours into Pokemon Scarlet in the first 2 weeks. I think that's the most I've ever played a game in the first 2 weeks that it was out in my life. I was addicted. I beat it all the way through in the first 2 weeks, and I had a good time. I had a really good time. You know, I did raids online with my friends. I explored the world, the ugly, ugly world in that game. It's so ugly. You can't tell me that it's not ugly. It's ugly. It's an ugly game. But I had fun with it. I had a lot of fun with it. But at the same time, I'm so angry at Game Freak for putting out such an unfinished, broken game. So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it, man, see, it held my attention, though. If anything, Pokemon Scarlet held my attention more than any game did this whole year because of how fast I played through it. I'm going to put Pokemon Scarlet No, do I want to put it in F? No. I'm going to put Pokemon Scarlet in the bottom of C. The bottom of C. Because I'm not proud. I'm not proud of myself for buying this game for full price. I think we need to... There's cars honking outside, I'm sorry. I think the people need to send Game Freak a message and stop buying their games day one until they start putting out finished games and stop rushing them. But, you know, it's not their fault. It's, you know, the system and all this stuff. But the system meaning the fact that they have to put out a game every year, not the system being the Switch. The Switch is fine. Have you seen Xenoblade Chronicles 3? That game looks very good on the Switch. It runs very well. But that's my problem with Pokemon Scarlet. That's a lot of people's problem with Scarlet. And people who look past those problems, good for you. But also, you're part of the problem. I said it. And I'm part of the problem too. And that's what it is. We love Pokemon. We'll play whatever they put out. And that sends the message to Game Freak that they can just keep putting out unfinished games and they will just continue to sell better and better because the games have sold better and better as the quality decreases. They sell more and more each year. So it's letting Game Freak know that they can keep doing this and they'll keep making more and more money as the years go on. But hey, that's just how it is. And I hope it changes one day. I could wait 5 years for the next Pokemon game. I don't care. I want it to be good. I'd rather wait 5 years and not get a new Pokemon game for 5 years and have it be really good and look really good rather than getting another Scarlet shat out next year. But anyway, I'm going to move on. I played through this game, Pokemon Polished Crystal, for my month of Game Boy. I liked it. It was really cool. It was Pokemon Crystal, but they added more Pokemon to it. You could catch all the Pokemon in Gens 1 and 2 in that game. And you could also Wonder Trade with NPCs, which is really cool. You could get random Pokemon early in the game through Wonder Trading, and I got some cool rare Pokemon that way. It was cool. It was really hard. I didn't finish it. I'm going to put it in C. I'll put it below Scarlet, because I genuinely did have more fun with Scarlet than with Pokemon Polished Crystal. But I'm going to stop talking about Scarlet now. Pokemon trading card game on the Game Boy Color. This is a game I started playing on my new Game Boy Color that I just got that I talked about in a previous video. I love the Pokemon trading card game. And I'm trying to beat it. I've never beat it before, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I'm going to put it in B, but at the bottom of B. At the bottom of B. Pokemon Y. Okay, this is the last Pokemon game that I played this year. I replayed Pokemon Y back in July because I wanted to do a video about the 3DS, and you'll see I'll bring the other 3DS games that I played up here. Okay, I started with Pokemon Y. I wanted to do a video kind of like Game Boy for a month, but with the 3DS, and I was writing it, I was playing the games, and then I got back to Sticker Star because I wanted to try this game again. I beat it back when it came out, hated it. I wanted to revisit it and give it a second chance. This game's still an F. I don't even care. I hate this game so much. It's so bad. I'm done thinking about that game for the rest of my life. I'm so sick of that game. Pokemon Y, on the other hand, I think I fell in love with Gen 6 all over again. And this was before Scarlet came out. I loved Pokemon Y. And playing Scarlet only reinforced that, hey, you know, Pokemon on the 3DS, all of the Pokemon games on the 3DS, they weren't really that bad, were they? So I'm going to put this in A. I'll put it above, you know what, I'll put it above... You know, I'll put it above Arceus. I'm going to put it above Arceus. Pokemon X and Y are still very fun to go back to. They're like the bridge between classic and modern Pokemon, and they're great. I had a good time with them. Super Mario 3D Land. This was another game I was going to talk about in that 3DS video I ended up not making. Maybe I'll get to it at some point in the future. But Super Mario 3D Land, I didn't love this game when it first came out. I was feeling like Mario was getting a bit too generic. I wanted a game that was like Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Galaxy, and we just weren't getting that. But going back to this game today, it's really good. I really like this game. I don't want to ramble on about it for too long, but I'm going to put it, you know what? I'm going to put it in, I'll put it in B because, yeah, I'll put it in B because Mario 3D World on the Wii U and Switch is just a better version of it. I'll put it above the One Piece games, all right? All right, now we're getting into the real good stuff. Well, for me at least. I went on a huge Resident Evil binge this year. I always wanted to get into this series. I always kind of tried and bounced off of it and tried and bounced off of it. And finally this year I sat down and I started with Resident Evil 2 Remake. And I had an amazing time. I'm going to put this right below Elden Ring. Resident Evil 2 Remake, I loved it so much. It's scary. The combat feels good. I played the PS5 version, so it had the cool haptic feedback in the controller where it feels like the triggers are like real gun triggers and stuff, and it just feels so good. I loved Resident Evil 2 Remake, and that is definitely a game that I will replay at Halloween for the rest of my life because it was just that good. I loved it. Resident Evil 3 Remake. I played through that one next, and I also loved it, but I didn't love it as much as Resident Evil 2 Remake, but it was still a lot of fun. So I'm going to put it here in A rank, just below the Final Fantasy games and above the Pokemon games. I really enjoyed it, but it's not S tier. It's definitely not S tier. But one that is S tier is Resident Evil 4, the original Resident Evil 4. And I'm going to put this above Resident Evil 2 Remake as my second favorite game of the year, I think. Resident Evil 4, the PS2 version, the HD re-release, not to be confused with the remake that's coming out this year. Resident Evil 4 is still an amazing game. I played through it from start to finish this year, or last year. I still think it's 2022 in my head. I played through it in like a week. I was obsessed with it. I beat it, and that game is just a masterpiece. And I'm so excited for the remake because, you know, I think a lot of people, younger people, might see the original Resident Evil 4 and be like, yeah, I don't really want to play a PS2 game, you know, all that. And I get it. You know, it is what it is. I think it holds up really well. But I'm excited for the remake. I'm excited to see this game in a new way and play it as a new experience again. And I've seen the trailers. I think it looks good. And I think, you know, it's just going to be Resident Evil 4, just a different version of it. And I'm all for that. And then next I played, so after 4, I went right into Resident Evil 5. I played it online with my friend Bryce, who I'm playing through Elden Ring with. We just beat it the other day. And we had so much fun. It is such a good co-op game. Even if you don't care about Resident Evil, if you have a good friend who you want to play through a co-op game with, you got to try Resident Evil 5. It is just so much fun. It can be stressful. You'll laugh, you'll scream, you'll cry. It's a really fun game to play through with a friend. If I didn't have a friend to play it with, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it nearly as much. So I'm going to put it under one rank below Resident Evil 3 just because the multiplayer is really what made Resident Evil 5 so fun for me. And if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it nearly as much. So I'm going to put it below the other Resident Evil games, but still a really good time. Okay, next. Oh, this is such a random one. Pinball Revenge of the Crocodile, or it's called something like that. It was a random Game Boy game that I played. It's a pinball game. It's developed by the people who make Kirby. I'm going to put this one in D. It's just a really simple pinball game for the Game Boy. You're better off playing Kirby's Pinball or Pokemon Pinball, but yeah, you can see that in the Game Boy for a Month video if you're interested, but it was just okay. Wow, I honestly I kind of forgot that I played this game this year. Sonic Frontiers, yeah, the newest Sonic game came out. Um, I love Sonic. I grew up with Sonic, all the classic Genesis games, the game, the Dreamcast games, the GameCube games. I was always a big fan of Sonic growing up. I know he has some hits, some misses. Um, Even the games that a lot of people don't like, I don't know. I don't like to waste my energy hating things like, some people hate Sonic, whatever. I try them. If they don't hold my attention, I don't play them. But I thought Sonic Frontiers was cool. It was really different. It was the first open world Sonic. Um, I played it for quite a while. I didn't finish it. Well, I'd say I probably got about halfway through it. So it was fun. I was having fun with it, but what came out? Something came. Oh, Pokemon came out, and I just kind of lost interest in Sonic and just spent all my time playing Pokemon. So I don't have too big of an opinion on Sonic Frontiers, but at this point in time, I don't really feel the desire to go back to it. So I'm gonna put it. I guess that means I should technically put it below Pokemon, because Pokemon came out and just. Oh wait, here. I'll put it above Polished Crystal. Yeah, because I don't know. I didn't love it or hate it. I was having just a very neutral time with it. There were a few things that I actually found a little bit frustrating, and there were a few things that I thought were really cool. But yeah, it was. I just kind of wish I did pre-order it and I paid full price for it. So I think I'm feeling a little bit burnt on that. It might be a bit higher if I got it for like a deal or something, but it was just okay. I checked out this indie game called Superliminal. It came out quite a while ago, and it was cool. Another one that I just played for a bit and kind of got the gist of, and was like, okay, it's interesting. You're walking through these really weird. I think I like the atmosphere of it more than anything, but it's just this kind of weird puzzle game. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like it plays with perspective and stuff. It's pretty interesting, but I didn't finish it, and I'd say I enjoyed it more than. I'll put it above all. Yeah, I'd say it belongs here. It's definitely better than these games. It's very interesting. And it's usually pretty cheap on PSN and stuff. I played it on the PS5, and it was cool. Yeah, so this one's kind of random too. Mario Maker 2. I know this game came out like 5 years ago now, but I got really into it all of a sudden this last year, 2022. So yeah, I got super into Mario Maker 2. I don't really know why, but I just got like addicted to the game all of a sudden and was just playing it for like a month straight. All I did was play Mario Maker 2 back in the summer, and yeah, I can't explain it, but all of a sudden I just fell in love with Mario Maker 2, playing people's levels online and stuff. So I'm actually going to put this. I'm going to put it in A rank, maybe above these two Pokemon games here, but below Resident Evil, because when Mario Maker 2 first came out, I didn't really care. I played it for a little bit, but then all of a sudden I just got really into it. I was just like, I love Mario. I just started playing Mario Maker 2 like crazy. I don't know what happened, but I had a good time with it, so it belongs in the A rank for sure. And then next, we have the Pathless, which was basically the second game I played on the PS5 after Elden Ring. And oh man, that game is just magical. Just look up the Pathless, look up gameplay of it. It's just so cool. It's a really, really cool game. Honestly, it's kind of like Breath of the Wild mixed with the movement of like, I don't know. It's S rank for sure though. I'm just kind of drawing a blank on what to say about it, but the Pathless was really good. if you have a PS4 or PS5. I think it's on Steam as well. Definitely check it out. You know, I'd say I even enjoyed it more than No More Heroes. It just feels really good to play, and yeah, I'm happy with it in the S rank for sure. And the last game is, you know, this is kind of funny. The last game here is literally the first game I played in 2022, which is Wario Land on the original Game Boy. And I never played this game before. I always wanted to, and I finally got around to it. I talked about it in my last month of Game Boy video from last year, and I loved it. I loved Wario Land, and I'm excited to play 2 and 3 eventually. Maybe in a future Game Boy for a Month video, I'll play those. But yeah, Wario Land. Let's put it at the... I've got 6 games in S rank. Was it... See, that's the thing. Was it better than... I'll put it... Okay. I almost was going to throw it straight in S rank, but then I thought about it. It was really short, you know, and it didn't, like, change my life or anything. Like, I feel like the Resident Evil games, like, I'm now a Resident Evil fan, you know? I was always kind of a Wario fan. I'm going to put it below Resident Evil 5, but above Mario Maker 2, because... Before, I'd never played Wario Land. I played Mario Maker 2 before. I just got really into it this year. So I'm going to put it there, right in the middle of A rank. I think it belongs there. That's good. I'm happy with that. So anyways, those are all the games I played in 2022. This video is super long. I'm kind of surprised how long I went on about some of these games. But yeah, as you can see, it's kind of hard for me to dog on a game too hard. I know I kind of went off on Pokemon there for a while, but I still put games below it. I think Paper Mario Sticker Star will forever be one of my least favorite games of all time, so that is where it belongs for sure. And yeah, I played a lot of good games last year that I'm really happy with, and I look forward to you know, what I played this year. So stick around if you want to, you know, see more from me, I guess. Let me know what some of your favorite games from 2022 were, you know, new or old. Honestly, a lot of my games pretty much all of my games from last year, except for like Elden Ring, didn't even come out last year. Well, and Kirby, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, most of these games are older games. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And if you liked this, stick around. And if you didn't like it, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. So anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.